No matter how well you manage your business, every business from time to time will usually have what we refer to as unexpected business expenses. Now, this can negatively impact your cash flow and make it significantly harder for your business to actually grow in the long term. Now, if you're a business owner that's actually looking to grow and scale your business in the long term, which I'm assuming you are, then you're going to want to watch this video to actually understand what some of these business expenses are likely to be so that you can better plan for them by including them as part of your business budgeting process. Now, if you're new here, my name is Tess and I'm a UK-based qualified accountant. And here I talk about all things accounting, finance, and business. So if you're an entrepreneur who is keen on learning more about any one of these topics, make sure to like this video and be sure to subscribe for more. Now, if you run a business in the UK or you're a sole trader that actually owns a business here in the UK, then you might be faced with what we call the data protection fees. Now, the data protection fees is usually paid to the ICO, and this is basically a fee that's charged to every company or every sole trader, provided that you are actually processing personal data. Okay, so if you are processing personal data, maybe for your client or for people that buy goods and services from you, then you might be in a position where you actually have to pay the data protection fees to the ICO. Okay, this is an annual fee that's usually paid. So it's definitely a worthwhile decision to make sure that you do your research around how much this fee is likely to be for your organization so that you can actually put it into plan and into your budget to prepare for it ahead of time. The amount you usually tend to pay will differ. Okay, so depending on how small or large an organization you are, it will depend on how much you're likely to pay. So I believe the current range that you can pay will start anywhere from around £45 per year right up to around £2,500, £2,900 per year. Okay, so depending on the size of the establishment and how big your business actually is. But it's definitely a worthwhile one knowing about because a lot of business owners do tend to get caught out by that. That leads me on to the next unexpected expense, which is actually taxes. Now, while it's relatively easy, fairly anyway, to estimate how much you're likely to pay in taxes to HMRC, I feel like a lot of people actually tend to make a mistake because many people who actually budget for their taxes tend to actually underestimate it. And the reason I say this is that as an accountant, I've seen clients countless times who actually come and are like, oh, I budgeted this amount to pay off my taxes, but here I find myself actually being investigated by HMRC. And after that investigation, they actually find out that they're in a position where they have to pay far more in terms of the taxes that they owe. So actually, if you ask me, I will tell you that it's always better for you to actually save more in the amount that you're budgeting for your taxes than to actually underestimate how much you think it's likely to be. Ultimately, it's not every business that's likely to get tax penalties or get investigated by HMRC or anything like that on a year-to-year basis, but it's definitely more of a prudent thing to do for you to actually overestimate how much you're saving when it comes to paying your taxes off every single year. Now, when you start your business, you don't typically expect to have any unforeseen events and circumstances arising during the course of your business, which is why a lot of people will usually tend to protect themselves and their businesses by actually taking out insurance premiums, okay? Business insurance premiums. However, as you may or may not have seen, a lot of insurance premiums will typically tend to fluctuate on a year-to-year basis. And the amount that you're actually paying as a business owner can fluctuate and change remarkably, okay? Depending on what inflation is like, depending on what the interest rates are like, and also, believe it or not, depending on what industry you run your business in. There are particular industry sectors that are just a lot more risky, okay, such as construction, for instance, where you would expect that your business insurance premium will cost a lot more. So I would definitely suggest that if you're someone who's running a business and you're taking out business insurance, you want to make sure that you factor in your insurance premiums varying, okay, on a year-to-year basis. Ideally, as a minimum, you want to make sure that you're actually including what you expect inflation to be, okay, on a year-to-year basis, and how this is likely to change how much you may or may not pay for your insurance premium, because ultimately your business insurance is there to protect you and protect your business. So it's definitely an important cost that you want to factor into your budget. I'm sure we've all heard the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but yet there's so many business owners, particularly newer business owners, when they start a business, they don't actually foresee the fact that they might lose clients along the way. Now, it's very important when actually thinking about your business budget to factor in the fact that you may potentially lose clients. Okay, clients do tend to come and go over the years. So it's important for you to factor in, if I start off this year, in 2024 with 100 clients, for instance, it's actually important to think about, okay, how will this affect my business if I were to lose 10 clients or 20% of those 100 clients by 2025? How will this impact my business income versus how will this also impact my business income if I were to gain an increase of business clients by 10% or 20%. So having that variability built into your budget is going to be crucial to helping you actually survive as a business owner. I would also add here that whilst a lot of businesses will tend to obviously rely on their primary income coming predominantly from client work, it's very important, even as a business owner, actually, especially as a business owner, to ensure that you have a diverse income source, okay, for your business. Think about, other income sources that you could pull in as part of actually running your business, so that even when you do lose clients, you have other income sources that will pull in and actually help you maintain that sustainable income throughout the year. In the course of running your business, it's likely that you're going to need to hire the skills of an expert at some point, okay? That might be that you need the skills of an accountant or a lawyer, or in some cases, you might even want to build a website for your business, which requires the skills of a website designer. Now, it's very important that you actually factor professional fees into your budget, okay? And the good part about professional fees, believe it or not, is that it's actually an allowable business expense. So it's definitely worthwhile for you to factor in a considerable amount, build that into your business budget, because professional fees can at times be quite costly depending on what services you actually need for your business. Unless you're lucky enough to actually be in a situation where you run your business directly from the comfort of your own home, or indeed you own the building from which you're actually running that business from, it's likely that you're going to want to include a considerable amount in your budget for rental costs. Okay, so rental costs for the business premises that you're using to run your business. Now, rental costs can increase significantly from a year-to-year basis, depending on the location, depending on demand and other factors. So it's definitely a worthwhile thing for you to make sure that you're including a fair amount into your business budget for your rental costs. Again, rental cost is actually one of those business expenses that is a tax allowable expense, so you can actually offset this when it comes to filling in your taxes for your business at the end of the financial year. And the next business expense that you might want to factor in, depending on the nature of your business, is business expense for equipment failure. Now, we don't always think about our equipment actually failing on us, but if you are in a position where you run a business that requires you to use or utilize an equipment to actually provide a service or a product for your clients, then you're definitely going to run the risk of your equipment failing or malfunctioning at some point during the course of your business. So for instance, if you're a photographer, you might want to make sure that you factor in the cost of having to replace your photographic lenses at some point, or even changing your video lights and things like that. If you're someone who does catering, for instance, there might be several different cooking equipment that you might want to factor in as part of actually building your business budget. It's very important that you set aside some kind of emergency fund, or indeed build this into your insurance, okay, so that you are well assured that if there was a situation where your equipment was to fail for any reason, then you're still in a position where you're going to be able to provide goods and services to your clients and not have to suffer a loss of income as a result of your equipment failing on that particular occasion. That leads me on to the next unexpected business expense, which is damaged inventory. Now, the thing with this is that a lot of business owners often don't have control over when their inventory is going to be damaged or how it's damaged. Okay, a lot of the time inventory or goods that you're shipping will tend to get damaged at some point during transit. Okay, maybe due to mishandling, for instance. But it's important for you to build the cost of this into your business budget and actually prepare a contingency plan for what you're going to do as a business owner if you were to experience this. Okay, because obviously once those goods or those inventories have been damaged, you're going to suffer a loss of income as a result of not being able to sell that to your customer or not being able to make that product. Now, as you can see, there are a variety of different unexpected business expenses that can potentially crop up during the course of running your business. And it's very important that you carefully plan for how you're going to manage these, and you consider this at every point that you can, particularly during your budgeting process for your business. Now, hopefully this video has helped. If you have any comments at all, or if you'd like to ask me questions on any more of any of these expenses that I've mentioned, then please leave them in the comment section below. Please don't forget to grab a copy of my Smart Startup Checklist and also a free copy of the business plan by checking the description down in the box below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like the video, make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications. I will see you in the very next video.